Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the UPL Valorant Fall of 2022 League. I am joined by the wonderful Orbital Cast, and we've got an awesome format for you guys. Tonight, it's going to be a single best of three that is going to determine the start out for some of these teams in our round robin format, which will eventually lead into a top four bracket. Orbital, it's really awesome to be casting with you tonight, and I'm looking forward to some of the maps that we have in this series.
Yeah, I mean, I was star walking for a little bit, getting some stuff done today, and I heard that there was a spot opening up, and I'm excited, right? It's the kickoff. It's week number 1 here with the league, and we got some fresh faces in the league as well, and I think that is always awesome to see, and I can't wait to see what they bring.
Oh, absolutely. When it comes to some of these teams, right, tonight we're seeing some newer faces, but in the league overall, we have some hard hitters, some returning players that are definitely to be looked out for. We need to keep an eye on them. But specifically, when we're talking about the UPL Valorant League, there's always a whole lot of action. We were looking at the rankings of the players tonight, and we were seeing that we got a lot of Immortal 3 Radiant tier players. So when we want to talk about the level of play, we're going to be seeing the highest.
We hope so, at least. I mean, every player can have an off day. I will say that. Every player can have an off day. Every player can have that one moment that, you missed about 3 shots there. Sorry about that when you lost the round. But I agree, there are a lot of awesome teams coming out here. I understand that UBC Black is coming back, which I think is awesome to hear as well. They are the returning champions from the spring split, and that one was also over 2 different leagues. So, they have shown themselves as the champions here and are hoping to do the same once again.
Yeah, but for tonight, we're going with Purdue Northwest versus Team Fish Tacos. So Purdue Northwest, they have been returning. They've got a little bit of a history under their belt, and they're looking like a strong team. But when we compared the ranks, it looked like Team Fish Tacos had a little bit more of an edge. But, of course, you and I know that we can't just leave anything to ranks. When it comes to a team history, having those rehearsed plays trumps all.
Oh yeah, this is a big thing that a lot of people will say about the difference between, if you're just playing ranked on the standard, servers and you're just playing with a couple of buddies, or you're going solo queue, right? There is a level of skill that comes in that. However, once you get to competitive, especially in competitive shooters, there is a whole big difference, right? Callouts, rotations, specific, two-man plays that you want to do. There's so many big differences there, and that's what I'm really curious about. I know Team Fish Taco. I've talked with some of them before, and, not with the Valorant side of things, but I can only assume that the translation from their coaching staff from one game tends to, kind of head over to the other games as well. They want to always play in a very strategic and team organized way. So I'm very excited. And on that other side, you see Purdue Northwest. You can see Soja, Deadeye, Vlad, Flock, and Quicks. All these players are hoping to do the exact same and kick off this season with an absolute banger.
Absolutely. And speaking of kicking off the season, starting up with the strategies, how we're going to see that manifest, I want to take a look at these maps whenever we can. We had a little bit of a glimpse earlier that this is a very comfortable best of 3 series. Orbital. When I think of a casual best of 3 series in North America, Ascent is always up there, if not Bind. And seeing Icebox and Haven follow through, I mean, I want to say that's pretty standard. Icebox was avoided for a really, really long time upon release, but I think finally the region has warmed up to it.
I mean, they have to, right? You see the ones that were banned out right away, Pearl first, just off the table, right? The introduction of the new maps has forced change, right? There are only so many maps that you can ban away, and there's only so many maps that you can practice in a timeline. So Icebox, once teams started to get used to it, and the fact that it quite physically drew out, drew out some new agent talents, that was one of the more commanding things about it, right? The fact that the Viper was pretty much a staple on that map, whereas on others, it wasn't utilized as heavily. So I love the fact that Icebox is, of course, considered one in the rotation. And to see it second, it'll be very fun. It's a vertical map a little bit more. That's why it brought so many challenges earlier on. I can't wait to see which team is going to feel much more comfortable on it. Remember, this series will determine kind of the overall feel of the rest of the season for one of these teams.
Absolutely. I mean, it builds momentum, right? Within a series, we often talk about momentum from map to map, from round to round. And then that same concept applies to the overall league, exactly as you're saying. And so these teams want to come in with a statement. They want to start off with a 2-0, establish themselves, and feel comfortable. Whereas if you come in with a 0-2, you're going to have a hard time mentally moving forward into the upcoming weeks. And now they've got a good few weeks ahead of them, so it's not as if they have to count themselves out, right? But there's a precedent that needs to be set, and it comes almost as a sign of respect over to the other teams, right? As they continue to go against each opponent and they're studying each other, watching each other's VODs, the level of play that you display is a warning sign to the others for what's to come.
Yeah. Now, that is not to say that teams can grow, right? That is another thing that we do want to say is this is, at the end of the day, a round robin setup, right? Teams will play each other over the course of, I believe, about 5 to 6 weeks, if I'm reading that properly, and I'll have to double check that just to make sure. It's 7 weeks, yeah. So 7 weeks over, you have a total of 7 matches that you get to play, which is at least 14 games against other very highly qualified teams. So what this means is not only are we hoping to see a great showing at the start, but we're hoping to see improvement over the course of the season, right? A team that starts out as an 0-1 squad in week 1, which, of course, someone has to, you hope to see them improve over the course, right? By week 7, you're hoping to see much more cohesion and a lot better unity between the players and a little bit more team identity, if we will.
Absolutely. And speaking of team identities, we're going to have to find out how both of these teams play, their in-game identities, after a short break. Stay tuned, folks. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UPL Valorant Fall 2022 season. I'm joined by the wonderful Orbital cast, and we are just now returning from a little bit of a bug from Twitch's end. Thank you guys for your patience. Orbital, more than happy to be with you once again, and we were talking a little bit about these teams, the maps, etc. So, where do you want to pick up?
I mean, listen, considering we went on that spiel for about 10 minutes and realized we were just miming the whole time, let's go ahead and start with the breakdown of the players once again. We can show them on screen just real quick and make sure that we get a good identity because these are 10 fresh players at least to the UPL. That's what's going to be really fun. Again, we do have Purdue Northwest, which will be rounding out on the attacking side, I believe, for every single map to kick things off. Soja, Deadeye, Vlad, Flock, and Quicks. And then for Team Fish Taco, we have 66, Karma, Res, Chrome, and Zeke, and they will be defending on every single map as well. And I think that's going to be very, very fun to see. And to, again, as we reiterated while we were unfortunately muted, it's going to be a very, very fun time to see what these teams can bring out in a league that is over the course of 7 weeks across 3 awesome maps. It's Ascent, Icebox, and Haven in that order. And of course, no team, I feel, wants to go to a map 3 decider. It's a lot of pressure, so we'll see what they can do there.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of the course of the 7 weeks, they're fighting for a $2,000 prize pool where first place is going to get to take away $1,200, a massive chunk of that pot. So they're going to go ahead and be grinding their hardest. You were really ramming in the point of improvement over the course of these weeks. And I think we're more than likely going to see it with These teams, obviously, they're going to be scrimming most of their time during the weekdays, running 1 to 2 map blocks a week. And so I can't wait to see the way that these teams grow throughout and what new strategies they bring. We were talking about how the returning teams in this league will probably already have some of those pre-made strategies and executions. And I want to see those develop in the newer teams as well and see micro improvements, because I was complaining about it a little bit earlier, but North America is not the region known for map improvements and utility usage. So I want to see some original ideas coming out of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, we had Pearl banned away as soon as possible, I think, and then as well as Fracture and Breeze. Those were not being played either, but those are banned actually in the second round of bans right there. So taking a look, we will be, I believe, getting underway with the gameplay and getting into it again. Ascent here, and we were saying we want to see improvement, but we also want to see strong play overall. Reason being, only the top 4 will make it into that playoff bracket.
So I want to make a quick note of what's going on here with the agent selection pool, TFT, with double initiator composition favoring KO and Fade. It's definitely something that we've seen in terms of the statistics. When we're talking about what agents are favored on a map like Ascent, KO is up there at 87%, almost 88% pick rate. So it's not unexpected at all to see him, and Fade follows at 64.6 herself, right? So when we're talking about information, players have identified that to be the key point, and getting rid of enemy utility on your executes as well as on the defense seems to be the core change that has been made. Fade obviously now eclipsing Sova, where this used to be his staple map, especially with Odin and Ares. Fade has come around and shown that her tether has been a great use to combine with KO's Molly, as well as blinds, and of course, whether you pick Raze or Jet, you're going to have synergy there as well.
Yeah, and it's the ever-evolving gameplay, right? That is something that I really find enjoyable, is understanding the utility basis of everything that's going on, right? Hey, listen, we found that this combination holds a little bit more power and also frees up some other options for the rest of the team, right? Sova, as much as it was a staple, did feel somewhat one-dimensional in that idea. And I love the fact that you pointed out that the Fade and KO not only work as individual agents, but they work well in tandem, right? The idea that different agents work very well together and can almost elevate their skills to another level, another ranking, is very impressive in its own right. And with the introductions, I want to see that happen, right? I want to see those combinations be played out. I want to see it hold a lot of weight throughout the entirety of this match and see who utilizes that combination to close to 100%.
And in addition, to kind of build on top of what you said about Fade and KO, I personally enjoy them even more because there's a lot more flexibility to their individual play. Specifically, I refer to Sky, Sova, and Breach as agents that really take a lot of time to set up their utility for someone else. And obviously, that's the role of all initiators, but I think there's a lot more individual flexibility for Fade and KO, of course, with the underhanded flashbang for KO and Fade being able to mix up her timings when the utility drops. It creates the opportunity for a support player to really shine in situations where they can effectively land what they wanted to. Sky used to have that. They nerfed out the pullout time as well as the gun pullout time for her guiding light, but now we get to see the other two, and I'm really liking the diversity of agents in the initiator pool now that Sova has sort of shied away. And it sort of reflects what Omen was able to do as part of the controllers and his popularity initially as a controller, because he too was someone who could come in independently with the shadow steps.
Yeah, it's the idea of not just being able to deny information, but being able to create diversions and also just understanding the map and how to work around some of those angles. And so as I do agree about that, it's still brought down to the fact that the players are going to be the ones piloting these agents, right? We can talk about different minute aspects, the technical aspects that bring about a lot to these agents. But do the players know that? And are the players willing to step up and try some of those riskier plays that do come along with some of these agents, right? You're talking about the Omens. Some of the trickier parts about the Omen that we used to see run was the fact that you kind of had to put yourself in harm's way, right? A lot of these certain abilities do deal with the fact that you are teleporting, you are rotating to a certain area that you're not sure someone's there, and if you do mistake that fact of, hey, it's open territory, it's great to work with, and then you're dead, you run into that issue, right? Always very small, minute little things that can make or break the game. And if a player is not experienced with these agents, which hopefully they are now, we will get to see those awesome outplays, the awesome moments. So that's what we're hoping to see here.
But any and all outplays will be witnessed after another short break. Folks, please stay tuned. We'll be right back and we'll get right into the action. Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're right into the middle of round number 4. We're going to pick it up. Team Fish Tacos is down 2 players, and Purdue Northwest, they have 2 agents of their own. It looks like Team Fish Taco is navigating the map they need to sneak around. A spike is had. B site is being held alone by Rest, and they're being pressured by KO Ultimate. That null command is really hurting their abilities to toss out any utility.
And it looks like that's going to be a great catch. Rest gets 1 headshot, looking for another one, but can you find it around the corner? Chrome's going to help out a bit more, and Team Fish Taco now in a bountiful lead, already up 3, was able to tack on a 4th, and I mean, so far, we're hopping in midway through this game, and yet so far, Team Fish Taco already looking like they're solid in everything that they do. You can see here, Rest and 66 and Chrome all leading at the top of the kill board. Purdue Northwest struggling a little bit here as we are getting into a little bit of a save round. Bargain bin at the very bottom with the stinger for Polo.
What I'm really interested in right now is the duelist pick for Team Fish Taco. We were talking about how Jet has a pretty high pick rate as a duelist, but Raze is about 10% behind. And I think that's because Raze is a much better duelist on the defense. And it looks like TFT are right in the faces of Purdue NW to show off her potential, especially with those paint shells and the early information you can get with the Boombot that we're actually now seeing clear B main, which is enabling them to push up on that territory. And Cheese here, who's stuck at stairs, might not know that they're getting pushed up on. In the meanwhile, PNW is getting onto the side of A with a dash.
Yep, this is going to be a hard one. 66 is able to find one. Zeke finds another. Vlad able to take one before they die. But it is still a 3v4 with the collapse right now. It's the entirety of Team Fish Taco. 4 members left alive. They're going to be looking to rotate into A. And Purdue Northwest, they're not sure if they want to rotate out, if they're scared about what's going to happen, because they lost 2 on the entry, right? And now they're stuck 1 in wine and then the other out in the lobby area. But, I mean, whether they move in or out and they try and rotate, they will be caught out. You can see the other 2 agents of Team Fish Taco just waiting off the corner.
And that's that key map control that they have taken up. That push out through B rewards them. And so now Purdue Northwest, they know that they're in a tight spot, but they have no room to work with. They know that the long angles are going to be even more dangerous because there's a gun advantage in the favor of the defense. So if they go in, it has to be in a short range, which is exactly what they're doing, where Deadeye finds one, immediately is traded out. Rest doing the job on the defense and putting everyone into the ground. That's going to be a 5-0, and it's a huge type of lead to have, Orbital, especially on Ascent. They're going to have a huge economic buildup. Just look at the money in that bank.
4 to 5K, 6K on Rez, who is sitting just shy of 7K. A ridiculous amount to hang on to, and that is something that is terrifying right now. 5 rounds in a row with only 1 plant so far is something that Purdue Northwest do need to worry about. At the current moment, if they lose this gun round, if they lose this current round, I do feel like it's quite devastating. As well as the fact that, you know, they do have a couple ultimates. If you can't utilize these ultimates to properly put yourself on the right foot, it's a scary proposition, right? It's very scary to think about that.
This is an interesting play by TFT. They have a strong side over at B, 3 agents and a whole lot of utility to work around with, but they don't know that someone is tucked behind the shed in B lobby. And I like the idea of maintaining vision. Purdue Northwest have the right idea. I'm liking the way that they're working mid as well, anchoring Cheese to make sure the rotations don't happen through market. And if they do, they're basically guaranteed a free pick. In the meanwhile, having all the space on site, they get to take it, but all the way across the map is going to be an attacker falling.
Yep, 66 able to snap one up with that tour de force, and it's a beautiful one to be had. Even though they're here, though, they still have to get the plant down, so giving a lot of time to TFT to rotate in. Good suppressions going down with that KO. No. Now they're going to try and get another chance. Deadeye takes out Rest. Remember, top fragger for the team. Deadeye is going to grab 2, and so far, keeping it clean. Zeke able to get 1. Zeke able to get 2, pulling off a Rest here. Now you're going to throw a bit of utility around the corner, and you're going to go for the defuse, but that was the wrong move to make. Cheese gets Zeke. And now with one alive, 66 is going to try and hammer it home. 1v2. Teleporter is used, and now zipping right back to the corner. Gets a shot off, can't make it happen. And now on the top side, a little bit of swing. 66 can't make it happen. Headhunter not going to do anything. Just like that, Purdue Northwest able to get around back.
Smooth repositioning by Deadeye after picking up a 2K. The pressure added onto the shoulders of 66J, trying to find a pick on either player, but being seesaw peaked by both meant that they were doomed to fail, and that's exactly what happened. Purdue finally able to pick up their first round on the attack. They want at least 4 more to be in a comfortable position. If they can't grab those, it's going to still be a dicey scenario. Luckily, from winning that last round, they get to maintain some weapons. That was the real main point that they were struggling at. I like how Vlad dodges the knife, gets to keep the Blade Storm out. And we're seeing another default across the map. Ascent. You see in those lower lobbies that players don't spread out. That's not going to be a mistake that Purdue makes. Not for now.
Yeah, looking at the default and just trying to find some extra kills. And I mean, Vlad is really hoping for this one, right? The double down on these attacking ultimates is very, very impressive. And you're hoping to get some massive utilization out, because if you get this round, you put yourself in a 2-round run, and then if you get a third, at that point, TFT will have lost out on their economy, right? The economy is not going to bounce back after that one. So that's what you're hoping to kind of see right now. However, mid is currently pushed up. Vlad's still waiting around the corner, trying to decide what they want to do. Goes into Pizza, and not really going to be seen. Knives are not going to do anything. Landed 1 on Karma, but it was not enough. Now 66 gets a beautiful chest shot. Chrome is going to fall to Cheese. The damage has been done. 1 for 2. Purdue Northwest down to 3.
Yeah, that 2-stack B and 1 mid play comes out huge for TFT, finding the 2 free picks, and they know that they can hold on to their territory. Over at A, things aren't as quite successful. Deadeye, once again, alongside Cheese, making waves. So they're taking the opportunity to plant, and now it's TFT on the retake. They need to try their best to get some angles, get some early picks. 66J only has an operator. Sure, the Headhunter is in hand, but they might just get timinged, and they do!
Karma is not going to be able to follow suit and is going to die. Polo takes 2 with 5 HP left. That is a beautiful, beautiful round to be had. And we did say Purdue Northwest needed that one to really hone in right now. And it looks like they're doing their job. You can see here the money on T-Fish Taco is going to have to be expended. A couple laning down into the $1,000 range. And 66, of course, is another one that is going to have to kind of dig up and kind of drop the last couple of bucks there. Unless you're hoping to run with just a headhunter, which I don't think you're going to do when the rest of the team is buying. Yep, there we go. There's a judge coming out here and going to have some fun. Purdue Northwest, you get this round, and you put Team Fish Taco into a little bit of an econ deficit. Hard chase in, though. This is going to be a rush in, and that's going to be Polo looking for another one. Can only get one, though. So the hard swing through B grants Team Fish Taco a massive advantage.
And it's not just an agent advantage, it's an information advantage. They are confident that the players are coming into A, but unfortunately confidence cannot make up for aim. It's going to be a fallen 66 down, and we see a lurking Vlad trying to get space into Tree Room, but they're caught out by Chrome. They've expended the showstopper earlier to get some frags, get some pressure, and so now that's going to go ahead and make waves into the oncoming retake. Having the agent down, the agent differential means Northwest have few angles that they're able to hold together. Rest spots one, tries to spot another, and it's a 1v3 scenario.
Beautiful timing on that swing by Zeke. Really, really impressive right there. Team Fish Taco able to bait out with the one in link and decided, hey, look, we can bait this out for as long as we need to. Two defenders walking up on the top of rafters and said we're perfectly good. This is still Team Fish Taco saying, look, the run ends here, and we're going to be very happy about that. The econ, though, on Purdue Northwest side, built up a little bit more. They're not going to go straight down into the gutters. They're not going to have to deal with that scenario. They get one more gun round to try and break things out, and I mean, so far, it's better than going almost 8-0 in a couple rounds, right? You're at least able to kind of collect yourself back and say, hey, we can do this. It is very doable.
Here.
I think what's going on right now that could be improved by Purdue Northwest is the amount of early frags that are not going in their favor, right? We're seeing early fights being taken, but not being won. And the history repeats itself as Zeke finds the first blood onto Vlad, and she's kind of stuck in their position. They have the anchor. They're going to go ahead and use it to try and get out safely. Absolutely worth the 30-second cooldown. Across the map, Chamber 66J finding a frag of their own. That's what's really the problem with Purdue right now, is they're allowing themselves to be taken so early by these combo plays, and they're not padding themselves, allowing TFT to waste the initial utility before re-engaging. They're kind of falling victim to these bear traps.
I mean, I can't really blame them either. It feels like if you wait too long, one of TFT is going to rush around and catch you by surprise. And so, I mean, Purdue Northwest kind of battling up the stream. They either decide to push quickly and kind of take that risk, or wait it out and wait down the seconds and then have to fight in a gun duel, which either one, I personally would not want to go up against TFT in, right? 30 seconds left, looking at a 3v5, and for the first time, at least here on stream, they are going to try and chase for that B side. You can go ahead and see here with that Fave util already taken down. They're actually going to sprint, so giving a lot of information over, letting the entirety of TFT know that 3 are coming this way. Sound the alarm. Line goes out, and can they get a little bit more? Soja is able to find one. Rest is down. Polo finds 66, and those are going to be some great shots. Overall, they're still alive. They're able to even up the score, but the plant has to go down. Couple seconds left. Is Zeke going to be able to stop him? Zeke sprays it as hard as possible, and you do. Not before the plant goes down, but it is still going to be the round. TFT watches Zeke get a 3K before they clean up house. 7 rounds to TFT.
That was a very good entry by Purdue, though. They found the early picks. They were in lane. I thought they were going to get stalled and end the round then and there, but no, they press forward, win those gunfights. And so I really think it speaks to how Purdue aren't lacking in aim. They are mechanically skilled. We've seen those fights come through. It really just comes down to the executions and the early parts of the round where things start to begin stacking against them little by little. We know that they can win those fights. When you look across the board, the kill differential isn't by that much. The highest difference you can see if you're looking at the top players is about 5 kills each. And that's something that you can change within a round or two. So I want to see them really start to use the KO and fade utility to the best of their ability, because I feel like they're lacking a little bit in aiding Vlad going in. We're seeing a lot of solo plays where the information isn't even out yet.
Yeah, that's and granted, that was a little bit of a, I want to say the save round. I think they bought Stingers because, I mean, it's relatively cheap. You're not too worried about it. They just wanted the round over, right? You're not going to get too much, and so you go ahead and try and do that. You got one, so kind of there, but yeah, kind of rushing in without information and without kind of the overall picture, right? You have a corner of the picture and you're like, yeah, let's go for it. We can do this. And then the rest of the picture just kind of slams into you. So TFT taking well advantage of that with 2 more rounds to go here in the half. They're at a solid 8 rounds. And if they win this gun round, I assume they're going to be coming out on top of the next one as well. But massive ultis being dropped here as Cheese is getting run out here in A-Long. And bada bing, bada boom, Zeke able to take Cheese's life.
We were talking about KO and Fade working together as a unit, and that's exactly what we see for TFT to secure a first pick. It's going to mean that PNW are forced over towards the B side. 66J knows that, aren't able to land the kill, but do get an awesome reposition over into the back of the site, and they can wait for the rest of the team playing their life. I love the patience and the discipline, but unfortunately they fall.
It's going to be one to fall, and now with the plant, that actual divide just causing some problems here, but they are going to try and send it here, and Chrome able to swing on Polo. That's one. Looking for another back in boat. Oh man, this is going to be rough, but Vlad going to try and do their best. That's one. Looking for another. Deadeye gets another. That's going to be a catch by Resto. Rest around the corner said, I ain't giving you any rest here. That's going to be another to go. Deadeye, can you make this heroic catch? It's down to a 1v1. Deadeye, you're going to try and hold steady. You know exactly where Zeke is. Rest is up. Inside of smoke, and you get the defuse. Rest able to time it out. That is a beautiful one right there. Yes, you get washed. No members left alive, but you take the round. That's all you care about.
My mouth is agape. Rest knows full well that they have enough time and has seen Deadeye time and time again be a thorough corner clear, right? A thorough player in these tight last second scenarios, in the 2v2s, the 1v1s, the 3v2s, right? And so uses that against him to commit to this defuse, because Deadeye's thinking there's no way he sticks that, even if it's half. Now we move on to Vlad, once again moving into the mid. This time around, will he wait for the information? He needs it, as they've been smoked off in the middle archway. Have a little bit of space to play with due to the nature of the smoke. They spot one, but I think Zeke saw him too.
I mean, if they saw him, that's great. Gotta do something about it, though. It's a hard chase in, and I mean, ultimates are out. 2 to 4 is ready to go. She's, though, ready with the op and says, hey, Chrome, you came knocking on the wrong door. Great opening frag to be had. Purdue Northwest sorely missing that, so Team Fish Taco gonna try and work this B site with one less player.
This is the first time in a long time that we've seen Purdue Northwest up. See the utility go out. Karma's ready to throw the haunt to get a little bit more information. They do. They know that people are out on the site, but Rest is already gone.
And Cheese going hard here. Gets one. Vlad able to follow up on Zeke's life. And, I mean, that's all you really got to right there. They are able to fight it out, get 3 more, stay alive. And now in the back corner, Deadeye says, Karma, you have been killed. Team Fish Taco able to end at 9. An amazing score, I have to say, to kick things off. Everyone talks about the curse. I don't think it's real. Team Fish Taco sitting at a very pretty number, just needing 4 more rounds to take game number 1.
Yeah, I think the 3-9 curse is so beta phase Valorant. Like, that's old school. Who's talking about that anymore? Yeah, absolutely. I got to agree with you. TFT have made a strong showing, 9 rounds, chaining them together and denying a lot of the post plants whenever Purdue was able to actually get the spike down. Now that the rules are reversed, though, I'm curious to see how the Raze is going to manifest itself, right? Because Raze, as a duelist, does have that fancy footwork along with the satchels, but the paint shells and the placement of that really do matter. And we've seen the effective util on the defense. I want to see just as much thorough use on the offense.
I mean, that's what you're hoping for, because this was Purdue Northwest map pick, right? If you're able to take Purdue's map pick away from them, what does that spell for the rest of the series, right? That's what we're kind of thinking here. So for Purdue Northwest, you are hoping for a bit of a resurgence here. Right now, a little bit of a chase around. We can go ahead and see it's going to be through mid into A. So trying to sneak away, tried looking for a couple of those opening frags, not going to find it. So it's going to be a challenge on A site, and let's hope to see that Purdue Northwest are able to see it.
It's looking like a hard execute outside following the paint shell. 66J finding that first blood, follows by a second, and the door is going to get closed, Orbital.
What a beauty of a set of frags. That's 2, and you're looking for a bit more. TFT going, yeah, this is perfect. Vlad actually eating so much damage, 13 HP. We can see here Zeke just spraying and praying. That's a beautiful one with the frenzy. Down to 1. Chrome able to find Cheese's life. And 66 is on the hunt. 66 wants one more. 66 is ready to go. Zeke said, nah, it's mine. Flawless round for TFT to kick off the second half.
Coming in perfectly, and I really loved the start of the round play to fake presence toward mid B side of the map, force a rotation, and it kept Purdue on their toes. They didn't want to leave. They knew that there was a single person in A main, but who would consider a rotation out of mid all the way around to top of cap back into A main by the entire team? So much information was given away as a bait by TFT, and Purdue caught completely off guard. And I was talking about the paint shells placement. To line it up to get the back of generator ensures that that space is clear, and they felt so confident moving into the site. And I think we might see a parallel of that early on. No, the smoke, the nebula denies the early space to TFT. They're ready to rotate. They know because of the running out in the game, because of tree room sound being made, that there is extra presence, and they can do the same thing they did in round 1, but in reverse now, setting themselves over to B.
The other thing to keep in mind as well is 66 are actually playing this, 66 and the rest of the squad is playing this very, very nicely with the fact that they also have the gun advantage, right? They have gun advantage, and they're going to chase in. This is also why Soja said, hey, Stinger just got buffed a little bit. Let's go ahead and swing hard in your face. Assuming one, can you get another one? No, you can't rest. They go with the Spectre to lay down the law. Deadeye, though, gonna find 66, and I mean, this is getting a little bit dicey. TFT on the site and are gonna play it Karma. Hiding around the corner and can't get the flick. So, this will be Purdue Northwest ready to go with the retake here in just a second. 4 members alive, and you're hoping to do quite a bit of work. So, seen TFT with their entries. Let's see what P and W can do. Rest able to find Polo, and Karma finds another. Vlad takes one before dying, but she's able to even it out to 1, and that's going to be the headshot. What a turn. Cheese says, give me that Headhunter medal. Beautiful job to go ahead and take away the anti-eco.
That is a chamber-only situation there. The Headhunter with the high penetration. You're not getting that with any other character. You're not getting that accuracy with any other gun. That is a chamber-only. Clutch up, gets the defuse, and turns the tide. That force up with the Stingers, you're going to start seeing that a whole lot more, whether it's going to be in these arranged 10-mans, in all competitions, tier 1 play, or even your comp games. This Stinger 950 with a buff, things are going to be crazy, and you guys... That's exactly why you're going to be playing diligently in these round number 2s. TFT did do their best to conserve the information and not give anything away to Purdue, but still, that initial pick on the defense is what turned the tides. And so we're going to see a lot more respect of Purdue starting now.
I mean, that's what you're hoping to see, I should say. Like, that is... I want to say that's the hope, right? Because, again, even though Purdue Northwest were able to win that one, we know what TFT can do with guns in their hand, right? And this is just the opening. Purdue have quite a ways to have to go for if they do want to kind of hang on and keep moving forward, right? So currently 4 rounds in their hand. Rest hiding out and is going to be lurking over here on A site. And the rest of TFT were checking up on that mid, saying, hey, maybe they're here, maybe they're not. Only time will tell. Now the challenge in. Rest, ready to go. He's going to send a little bit of distortion out. The Insomnia says, nope, no worries. And now they're going to chase in. In the doorway they go. Hard spray. Deadeye able to find 1, and they shoot straight through. 3 down, just like that on Team Fish Taco's side. Cheese finds Chrome, and Vlad finds 66. It is a flawless right back in the face of TFT as Purdue Northwest tack on their 5th.
And that's to be expected, right? You come out on top in the round 2. After losing round 1, the economy shifts in your favor. You get to buy up. You're going to go ahead and have a weapon advantage. TFT tried to leverage some Stingers of their own. Didn't quite work out for them. And hey, that's absolutely fine. And so now Purdue get to remain with a little bit more cash in the savings account. And you can even see... you get to see TFT with a little bit more cash in the savings account, and you even get to see an operator in their hand, and that's what's going to be the scariest part about it all, right? We didn't really see Taco on the defense utilizing the big stick, but now that Purdue's got it in their hands, The rounds have to slow down forcibly, right? The initiator utility will be forcibly spent just to ensure that lines of sight are cleared away and that operator can't find any free kills.
It is, of course, if they can identify that an operator is in play, right? That's the whole question mark. If it already shot off, great. You know it's there. If not, though, you are just going to try and play as you have been. It's worked decently well, and this time you have full weapons. Vlad does hear A site completely being overrun, and Purdue Northwest call the right strategy and say, hey, we're not going to fight it just yet. Let's go ahead and regroup everyone. Let's play it from there. So it's a full 5v5 retake situation. Purdue Northwest have a couple question marks on where exactly they need to go. 3 agents suppress the what? And information grabs Zeke, gives rest. Plenty of information saying, hey, we know exactly where they are in Raptors. Get ready. Spray out and rest set. No rest for the wicked. Deadeye completely caught out in that smoke. And look at the swing again, even through the smoke. This is decimation by TFT. Purdue Northwest tried to be tricky, but they could not make it happen.
I need to check what he's got on his computer. He's got to have some heat-seeking program, something on there. Through the smokes, 2 of them, and a third one, wall bang in the corner by Generator, getting the extra damage to secure the kill. Rest 18 and 8. A little bit above a little bit above 2.0 KD, throwing a couple of assists there. They've got from the shadows at the ready, more than able to TP to the back of any site or even across the map with the spike. A one-man army, but still being supported by the rest of the team because no one agent can stand alone. We're seeing the knife go out mid. The Prowler's going to follow. Polo at the end trying to jump peek to get early information, and Cheese here with the risky play at the Headhunter.
Ooh, little bit too risky. Was able to get back to safety, but I mean, it's still a danger to be had, right? She's sitting on the back corner now, sitting in the back of defender's side hallway. With that noise, TFT did say, okay, well, we don't want to challenge that just yet. Let's go ahead, swap back over, get the rotate in, and try and find a frag. Kind of hunting around for that golden opportunity, and they might find it here. Vlad playing very aggressively up without a weapon out, and the jabs back and forth. Yeah, Vlad, I don't know why you're peeking without your weapon. You know exactly what they're going to do to you, and they do that just perfectly. How long can Vlad hold out? Vlad gets one. God. Vlad is looking for another, but you're trying to reload. Pistols out. God. You get a second. Vlad says, thank you, Karma. Able to turn it right back around, though, but my gosh, did Vlad just do a defensive mastery? And Rest says, Polo, you can't do what they did before. Vlad is now going to watch as the rest of the team starts to get annihilated. Deadeye is going to fall afterwards. It's down to a 3v1. What can one player do? Apparently get 66. That's going to be 2v1. Soja, full health, healing up ever so slightly. The armor, but now getting tagged out. That's going to be the shots going in under the Raptors. I mean, Soja, what you got? 35 HP in a dream. The dream is dead. Karma with the 3K.
Dream turns into a nightmare. Karma gets that kill. Fade is going to send us into the next round. It's match point, and that's looking really hot for Team Fish Taco, but we're seeing a timeout coming from the defender's side. Purdue Northwest, they have something to talk about, but I feel like it's a little bit too late. We're already at map point. If you needed something to change, you needed to change so much earlier, but hey, you know what? Better late than never, right? They have 4 ultimates, Null Command and Nightfall. Both up, your initiators will get your jet into the site without a doubt. They have Blade Storm. Vlad can buy for someone else. They're down, but they're not out. This could be the way that they hang on to the map. But on the flip side, just look at how stacked the economy is for Team Fish Taco. They're feeling A-okay, right? Holding on to the sites. They don't have to, they will have to worry about the onslaught, but if they lose a round, if they expend all the ultimates that Purdue Northwest have, if they force them to retake with those ultimates, then they're still feeling A-okay. One round shouldn't be too much to pressure them off, and so it really comes down to how efficient Purdue can be with these ultimates on the defense, on these retakes, to, how do I say, ration them over the course of the next 7 rounds.
I mean, the question is, I mean, do you expend it here, or do you go out with one big bang because you don't know how many you have to expend to even win the round, right? That's the question mark that's kind of up in everyone's face, and I do agree, the timeout at the very end, it's a little bit late. Should have called it out quite a bit ago, but we'll see if it does make a difference. Right now, into the mid they go. This is Team Fish Taco saying, hey, give us this opportunity. Let us go ahead and try and run you down. And 66 gets a beautiful opening shot. Cheese looking the wrong way and got cut up right there. Rest now coming around the side, gets a blind on one and is now going to chase into the site. To catch it early on. I mean, that's the shots. Deadeye and Polo able to find one piece. The turnaround is great. 66, though, says tour over in B. Let's go ahead and get that plan down. 3v3 here in game point.
I'm sticking away. 66J disabled. They're not going to have the tour de force. But look, the Vandal right by their side. It's going to do just as good. Time ticking away, though. The null command, as soon as it goes down, you know the tour de force is going to come right back up. We're seeing smokes being used to stall. We're seeing a knife to try and disable any utility coming in. Vlad out in lane is going to be taken out, and it is a post-plan hold. Team Fish Taco take the first map. They ruin Purdue Northwest map pick. Ascent pulled out from under them. And ladies and gentlemen, we're staring at Haven for map number 2, and we will see it after a short break. So folks, stay tuned because we'll be right back with more action. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the UPL Valorant Fall 2022 season. I'm joined by the wonderful Orbital, and we just got out of map number 1. Orbital, why don't you take us through what happened over on Ascent?
Yeah, that was a game, I should say, right? That was one that we saw, who's ready kind of for the season and who may still be kind of building up that roster, right? Purdue Northwest on their map pick on the attacking side seem to get locked down fairly heavily. Team Fish Taco pretty much off the bat were looking quite strong in terms of their understanding and conditioning of where they want to go, where they want to pull the routes, and where to defend, right? The early calls, hey, listen, they're on A, cool, let's rotate over. They were very snap, very on point, and didn't waste any time. For Purdue Northwest, saw some good adaptation, right? Understanding of, hey, when can we push and when can we not? However, they lagged a little bit behind, and then also losing some of the gun rounds, right? We did see a couple opportunities on both sides, but mainly on Purdue's side, where they were getting shot in the back, getting shot off on the side, not taking a look at some of those proper angles. So a little bit overall to work with, as well as maybe some of the callouts, but we'll see if that can be rectified in the rest of it. Of course, this match isn't over just yet either. It just was a very one-sided affair, at least for game number 1.
And game number 2, we move on to Haven. Purdue Northwest starting on attack once again, but this time a much more attack-sided map, right? Haven has historically been more attack-sided. Recently, it's been evening up. We're staring at a 51% favor into the attackers, where it used to be 55, but hey, you'll take every percentage that you can get. And so when you're moving on to this map attacking, Purdue should feel very comfortable. But it is not their map choice. That's kind of the point that we want to talk about, right? Ascent was taken away by TFT, and so now they're on home territory. So this is what we got to worry about, but I think it's going to be an interesting match nonetheless.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, and I hope we get reconfirmation, if maybe we could see the maps come up once again. I actually do believe it's Icebox. So Ascent was picked up by Purdue Northwest, and then it was Icebox selected by Team Fish Taco. So we'll see that one next, and then the decider will of course be Haven. So everything that we just heard, if we do actually see Purdue Northwest taking this map off of TFT, then we will see Haven. But I do agree, attacking side might be something that we get to watch more. Right now in Icebox though, this one's going to be quite fun, I think, because this might lend itself to Purdue Northwest. If they've been reading the playbook, they understand the plays that are needing to be made. On their attacking side, we could see them pull off some crazy stuff. So maybe we get to see that, maybe we don't. Either way, this is TFT's map pick, and if TFT can pick it up, I mean, set's over, right?
Ooh, Orbital, well, lucky for us, that same attack-sided perspective, that same attack-sided tendency is still free in Icebox. So, look, it's going to be pretty comfortable for Purdue Northwest no matter what map they're going to be starting on. They get that slight advantage. But what I'm interested in is the agent picks, right? Especially for Icebox. It's been going through some changes. Obviously, Viper is going to remain a staple and Chamber as well. But off the bat, what I notice with Purdue is that they've opted for a completely different Sentinel, and that's going to be Killjoy. And I'm excited to see the potential that the nano swarms could bring to the table.
I think everyone's kind of excited about that. However, I have, I believe, a good buddy of mine. A good buddy of mine has an affinity of hatred for Killjoys on maps such as this, where the lockdown you don't actually get a whole lot of value out of. So I'm interested to see how it plays out here. Right now, though, Purdue Northwest Cheese is having a bit of a struggle here, is going to round the corner and immediately get snapped onto again, loses a bit of health and is currently sitting on 44. It was an attempt at A, and Purdue Northwest go, that's just it. It was an attempt. No longer an attempt, going to head over to B.
Oh, this is a really difficult position to be in. On attack, if you funnel yourself into B main and you have no one in mid, the defenders have a lot of room to play with, especially when you have Brimstone on smokes. Okay, you have Viper to bring things up and down too, but she's got a limited amount of fuel to work with. That means a limited amount of time before the onslaught continues. Team Fish Taco are not afraid to push through, and they find themselves in a 2-agent lead because of it. And so that's going to teach Purdue a harsh lesson that they need to control mid if they want to go through B. They have to grab the spike. It's right in front of them. Polo has to walk just a little bit further, but the fear takes over. And they know that Team Fish Taco have most of those angles on lockdown. Sure, there's an alarm bot on the flank, But that's not their priority right now. They need to secure the objective, and TFT is just not going to let that happen easily, Orbital. The wall goes up once again, and that's here where Purdue feels comfortable in trying to find the spike.
Oh, well, Polo is able to get one with one, and now going to look for one more, but they turn it around. That's going to be a one-man show. Unfortunately, Deadeye is now forced into the situation you do have to go for, but you can possibly look for a catch, but you can hear the swap outs. Oh, no. You're going to check. You're going to get it. Do you give it up? No, you don't. It came down to the wire. Karma able to force out Deadeye. I mean, 16 HP. That's about as close as it can get, so huge props to Deadeye for getting that close to taking the round back.
I'm looking at the intention of Purdue. This is a very, very interesting team comp for Icebox in particular. Very non-standard. I mean, look, Sova is at an 80%, and Viper's at an almost 100% pick rate. That's fine, right? But I'm staring at Killjoy at 14%, and I'm looking at Brimstone with less than 1. And so I'm thinking that with so many post-plant pieces of utility, that they're looking for a lineup post-plant, something a lot stronger than before, but they're not finding easily the space they need to even get to the point of post-plant. We see earlier, right now, B main is denied, and Purdue is forced towards the A side, but their information is given away, right? All 5 being funneled there means that Team Fish Taco is confident in acting and taking, holding, waiting for Purdue to walk into their space and just take the fights from there.
See what they can do here. Right now, Chrome with the judge gave a nothing to chance. Of course, 66 had a little bit of an issue, but Soja able to make 1 kill work. Unfortunately, lost their life. Down into a low member count.
Oh.
Chrome bouncing around with a 4K on the judge. The judge is by far the true executioner here in this game. 2 rounds now to Team Fish Taco.
That is so scary. It is so scary because Chrome is 6 out of 8 until the showstopper. And in this kind of a round, that means Chrome is fully capable of ulting if those 2 ult orbs fall into their hands. If they go to the site opposite, Chrome gets a free orb at their site and just needs to find 1 kill. And if they walk into him, they need to be wary of the judge. That is something you don't want to think about for your first buy round of the second map, especially when you've already dropped map number 1. This is a scary position to be in. It's even scarier when Chrome is hiding inside of the poison orb and the owl drone doesn't clear him. Hope they can turn away.
Yeah, this is it would normally be really good, but the problem, of course, is the fact that Team Fish Taco, they aren't really predicting where Purdue is going to be at, right? You're taking a look here. They're going to try and chase. Purdue, Vlad eats a little bit of the poison damage, and that was able to claim 1 agent already, so TFT saying good, we got some damage down. We know kind of where they're at. Purdue Northwest chasing into A once again. Remember, they have the weapons available, so this could be a very nice one to be had. Into the skies, now turning around on the side, and 66 able to rip away first blood.
That's tough, but Cheese is going to go ahead and retaliate with a kill of their own, evening up the agent count. Zeke being a little bit sneaky in the smoke, finds 1, tries to find a second. Knew that Deadeye was planting default, but just didn't quite have the angle. Soja will be the soldier that presses forward, and Zeke will go ahead and even the numbers once again. It's a 2 versus 2 orbital.
It really is, and now we get the attacker lockdown coming in here. This might actually be a huge one to be had, and you can turn around and find it. They're actually chasing. Zeke said, hey, I gotta chase anyway. Deadeye is gonna find Karma, and the lockdown is going to catch, so Zeke is stuck. A well-fought round, as that is the most brutal of knifings. I mean, Deadeye kind of deserves that one. Well-earned, well-fought for. Lockdown collecting in a bit of value, one that we don't often see.
So 2 things there. In the final moments, we see Cheese throw a lineup with the Molotov, meaning that there's definitely a plan for post-plant that Purdue has in mind. For Team Fish Taco, their goal is to expose where those lineups are and deny the space, whether that be with paint shells, a flank, or some other form of pressure. But for Deadeye, expending lockdown so early on a retake for the first buy round, that's a little bit tough to swallow as well. So things are going either way. Team Fish Taco have to worry about map control, but at the same time, the lockdown isn't on the menu for a good while.
Nope. Not going to be available. So let's see what they can do. 66 hiding out a little bit more forward this time around. Just kind of hoping to grab something.
He's just
Soja,
standing
of
there.
course, playing this one, playing a bit slower, and you don't want to give information away, and that's exactly the reason why. 66 able to get away with their life. That's what you're real happy about, but it was a dangerously close one.
I get he has the rendezvous to get out safe, right? At any point in time, if he wants to get out of dodge, he absolutely can. But that kind of an angle is very risky, and it's not a common one as well. So the catch out, I mean, it comes down to chance on whether or not they got headshot, and chance just happened to work in their favor. But Vlad finding the timing is a miracle of its own. They go ahead and spot 66J. That's one less defender on the menu. And we're going to go ahead and see Zeke trying to defend from the rafters, but they're denied with the sky smoke. And all of a sudden, A is in the favor of Purdue Northwest, and they want to go ahead and conquer with the Brim Molly up first, as you can see him all the way back by belt.
They're definitely going to try and control it. Rest going ahead, throwing down a lot of util as well. The wall going up with poison, and now going to chase around the corner. 3 take a hard swing, and no one gets anything. Chrome finally able to find Polo's life. Zeke able to find Deadeye, and they're getting the headshots all the way around. The bounce in, Vlad able to take Chrome. And that's one that you really like. Zeke gets one before the wall goes up, and now with the Molly out, it's going to slow them down just a little bit longer. Zeke, a ridiculous one to be had, and now the Hunter's Fury comes out. Are you going to find it? Checking up and down, but Cheese was in the right-hand corner. The sight from Soja catches one, and now you're up against the wall, but Karma comes out with a 2K. A beautiful headshot to take Soja's life, and TFT will collect the 3rd round.
You can't kill a nightmare.
I have no words. I don't know what to say. The Incendiary gets spent. The Hunter's Fury gets spent. Cheese pushes in. Vlad was there the whole time, taking fights and finding heads of their own. And all it takes was Karma feeling themselves for 2 frags, and that ends the round in Team Fish Taco's favor. It's insane, the individual skill, and it's sad because that went to Purdue's plan for the most part, right? Maybe that Deadeye used nanoswarms a little bit early to clear corners. Maybe those weren't intended. Polo wasn't available for their own snake bites, right? Half of those available mollies weren't up. But look, that was the prime position for their plan, and it was still a win in the favor of Team Fish Taco. Purdue need to move in with a lot more confidence, and I think what's going on is they understand they need more bodies on the site to delay. That's why Cheese went forward after their Incendiary got launched. But Deadeye and Polo falling so early on the retake is kind of what ruins the tempo. And so they need to find a win condition on the post plant aside from playing lineups.
There you go, and hopefully they can color through. 66 was the one to call the timeout there, which is quite surprising considering TFT were the ones that won that round before. So maybe going back and also saying, hey, look, we got to take a look at what's going on here and reimagine ourselves so that we don't have to deal with that situation, right? They realize that it came down to a very clutch moment, but they don't want that to happen again. Right now, Chrome hiding up on the top side, and we know this song and dance from before. This is going to be the Owl Drone going out here, but Chrome hiding up on the top is going to swing down, get some shots off, but only gets damaged. No kills to call her out. Rest is going to follow through and get the wall up. Now going to chase around. A little bit of a shock bolt. Not going to catch them. Toes are out, and now the hard swing. Spray down gets one. Rest able to find one. Beautiful shot to kick things off. Now looking to get a little bit more. The rest of Purdue Northwest going to file right back and not trying to aggress any further.
Chrome had a good idea, and I love the off-angle drop down. I think they were expecting Purdue to be a lot further up than they were, and didn't take into account the type of comp that Purdue has, forcing them to be very slow behind their duelist, and especially having only Arena. Purdue are allowing her to walk forward solo, not worried about the pressures of falling behind going for a refrag.
Well, Karma is going to come around the corner and say, hey, the Vandal is going to work wonders. Rest in perfect position, though, is going to swing on one inside of that Nanoswarm. Good damage to come around. Rest is going to try and swing on their own. 3v2 here. Gets a body shot. No shot goes off. Deadeye with the Deadeye shot. Headhunter ready to go. 66 says, hey, we got this chance. Good shot to clear that out, but now the poison is going to be in play. They chase in while the poison is up, and it works out in spades, stopping the plant as well. 66 with the call, or maybe it was someone else. Well played moving into the Viper's Pit.
Polo just absolutely unable to pinpoint the position of Zeke. You see them staring upwards with the judge, thinking that Zeke is positioned on the top of the site, not knowing he's tucked into the cubby right next to them. And that's kind of the advantage that the Spectre and the Phantom have over most of the other guns, right? Sound orientation aside, it's the flash of the muzzle being hidden that makes things tough, especially at the edges of your vision in a Viper Ultimate. That's what's going to be the game changer in a round. That's exactly what we see. Now we move on into number 6. Once again, Vlad pushed up solo, B main. They have a little bit of help this time around. Owl Drone spots one, and so there's a little bit more confidence in trying to take territory. But at the same time, Purdue aren't going to give away A main for free. Team Fish Taco having worked up space of their own as well on that side.
Very, very far, but now the information has been made and Rest takes a quick snapshot. Can't really find anything. I think just a bare minimum amount of damage went down. But the idea that, hey, if someone on B and already stopping them has forced the entirety of Purdue to actually rotate back. So TFT corralling Purdue exactly where they want to be, and 66 with the 2 to force is looking for this shot. You're going to see him turn around, gets a snapshot, beautiful through the wall. Easy does it as Soja is no more. Now on the top side, Chrome getting spotted out and now going to help swing. Vlad is down. Second kill with the 2 to force. And make it a third. 66 wants the ace. A 3K rolling through Purdue Northwest. Say, A wasn't the answer either.
They got 2 bullets left in the magazine. All right, Cheese gets rid of Chrome. That's fine. The 2 to force, especially with Spike out of their hands. This is dangerous. 66J, first whiff the round with that 2 to force. Cheese finds a second. Things are getting dicey, but they know that the Spike has to go to the A site, and I love the wall to deny the easy plant, forcing them into the lines of sight of 66J. Sees the tip of the barrel from Brimstone, and the time runs out. TFT with a bold swing aren't rewarded. Cheese good for 3, but not good enough to take the round in favor of Purdue. And what I really want to see right now, and Orbital, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have not seen any mid-pressure out of Purdue, and I'd like to see them start to leverage that, especially with the utility that they have. KJ turret, a Molly, Sova dart, something, because their B main only pushes are only wasting time for themselves.
I can agree with that. At the same time, Killjoy, we're not going to see much more than just the kills come out right now, right? For the Killjoy, a lot of the utility with the turret is best utilized on the defensive side, right? So as much as we do want to see that turret go down in mid, if someone is peeking that mid corner, you are going to have a little bit of a difficult time. You can drop the turret outside of range and make sure you're safe, but the idea of expending a lot of that for maybe some return is something maybe Purdue is not very willing to do. If they do aggress, I would expect a much harder swing, maybe not just the Killjoy, laying down a turret, just, a little bit of a smoke and then just try and rush in. Maybe not set so much pressure there and instead still focus on the gameplay, because so far we are seeing glimmers of hope from Purdue, right? The A site, they were able to wait out the time a little bit. It looked okay. B side, we see them time and time again get close. It's just never been quite enough.
The issue that I'm finding right now is that with Purdue, they're allowing Team Fish Taco to get away with a solo B hold almost every round. There's only 66J or only the Viper on the defensive side holding, and so that's kind of what they're getting away with and putting the resources towards A. Purdue, though, going into A this round, Vlad leading the charge, gets rid of the Viper's pit, means that the space is very easily theirs because Lockdown has made its second appearance in this first half and forces the defenders off. Spike should be able to get planted for free, but this positioning at Rafters by Chrome, it could very easily lead to a kill. And the defensive Nightfall coming through for the retake. No, things are getting scary.
Things are absolutely getting scary, and Chrome is on the hunt, making a 3K. 2 with the gun, 3 with the gun now, and 1 with the paint shell. Deadeye, you're not hiding. You're hiding from the ace, more or less, and is able to find 1 on 66 around the corner to go. Deadeye gets Chrome. This is now a 1v1 for all that has worked. The defuse goes through, and Deadeye is going to find the Nanoswarm kill, but it was defuse or not. And it will be a 6. So far, again, Purdue finding some value. They are getting very close to taking these rounds, but it feels like TFT are just kind of sticking it to them.
I feel like it's the unfortunate nature of Viper and Killjoy Molly now that they have, been significantly nerfed since their first iterations. Brimstone and Phoenix being the only ones that can really kill at the half spike defuse point. And so that threat of the Nanoswarm, Karma correctly identified, was not a threat at all to the round, to their life, sure, but they knew that they wanted the 6 point overall in this map, taking a huge lead. 5-round differential, especially on the defensive side, puts Team Fish at an edge where they can feel solid. And even if they lost all rounds from now forward, will feel great going on the attack. But we can just see that with the weapons Purdue are using to engage onto A, they might have still the chance to pick up a 7th TFT with just the judge.
Rest gave everything, and it worked in their favor. My gosh, down to a 3v1. We know what Purdue can do in some of these situations, getting these 1 or 2 2K moments, but this one's just a tiny bit more difficult. Zeke says no thank you, and they go ahead and clean it up. Rest is just ridiculous right there.
I know you're saying that Purdue might not want to spend the turret in mid, but something's got to go, right? It's got to be a poison orb, a brim smoke, Sova arrow. If not the turret, something else, because the amount of free territory, especially with the Sage Wall that Zeke is getting, that TFT are gathering, is denying so much, and it's becoming a repetitive funnel where Purdue finds themselves as fish in a barrel, and they're just getting turned into tacos round after round.
All right, I see you, Ashken. I see you with that one. Oh, that was good. I like it. Right now, though, taking a little bit of a peek and all. This is the change that you were hoping for, and Vlad chasing up into the kitchen is gonna be hard to see, but you took a swing and you missed. So the change was made, and they did go a bit more aggressive in the mid, but you don't actually get as much value as you want. So now it's gonna be reiterated, re-challenged if they so wish. Team Fish Taco, though, did go ahead and let go of this beast side, but because of the poison, Cheese is down. Oh, that's a huge kill. Rest getting some value.
Deadeye tries to get some wall bangs, knows that it's a thin surface on that nest. You can hit the back of rafters through it, especially with the Marshall, but isn't going to find the damage. Following through on their gamble. The back of the site is Rest, holding the fortress on their own. Knows the front of the site is occupied, goes for the fight, isn't able to win it. Soja, bouncing around on the boxes, is able to hold their ground as well before 66J has something to say about it. And we've made it into another 2 versus 2 retake.
Ooh.
Zeke has the resurrection, but they might not even need to use it.
I mean, they don't. At this point, it's just like, do we want to? Do we really want to use it here? 8-1. This has been Team Fish Taco continuing their domination, and it's been immaculate, right? This has been them at every point of this game consistently outstripping Purdue of what they want to do. Even when it's close, it feels like TFT have control here. And for PNW, I understand that was a save round before, right? That was a save, didn't really matter. This one's the buyout one. If you lose this one, I mean, it hurts, right? You are staring down the barrel of a first half double-digit round score.
Chrome very aggressive on the positioning and rewarded for it. Gets away with murder, 36 HP, and the showstoppers in the pocket, so you know they're going to make a bang before they go out.
I mean, that's one, and Zeke getting spotted out. Soja definitely saw the feed, and that's what you're going to go for. That's going to be the kill. Soja able to even things up, but you're looking for a bit more. It's 66, though. Allowed to grab 2 and allowed to live behind it. That is a situation that you did not want to deal with. Karma able to find Vlad in the Reyna mirror matchup.
No.
And Rest finishes it off. Soja caught out on the side. 9-1 is the score on a gun round, no less.
I like now, the outcome of the rounds haven't shifted too much, but I like now seeing Polo throw the poison orb. I like seeing Vlad mid. I think that if anyone's going to lurk, though, it's still got to be your Reyna or it's got to be your Brimstone. You got 2 controllers. One of them can do the job. It feels as if there's no spearhead on the side of Purdue as well, right? No one is there at the forefront puncturing the defense precisely finding the chink in the armor to get the most effective entry, right? It feels as if Purdue, with the support characters that they have, aren't able to find the first frag. Now Vlad, with the Empress, is going to make way. They've already taken so much damage, and that's going to be Rest putting him in the grave.
Well, that one hurts. Actually, a walk by there, as Rest said. Oh, that was the enemy. I'm so sorry, guys. That was a good catch. 2v5 right now. Rest gonna take a swing and catch Deadeye. Snapping. One more left, just kind of running around, having a bit of fun. Where do you go? Polo going. I got 1 HP, 1 shield. Single breeze could hurt me, but I found one in time, and 66 is going to make sure that that is the end of it. Not a flawless round, but close enough. 10 rounds for TFT, and the last round of the half means it's all or nothing here for Purdue Northwest.
All or nothing indeed, right? They've got 3 ultimates in the pocket, and I want to see all 3 of them used. Lockdown has gone to A both times, and look, fair enough. Pipes is a pretty free placement of the ult, but it can definitely be used to stall on a post plant if they can get to that point. Cheese can try and find an early frag with the orbital strike, or can save it for post plant as well, and the same can be said for Soja. These need to be expended earlier than later, though, because what Purdue has been struggling with is making the space for themselves.
Well, you know what also makes space? It's 66 saying thank you very much. Chrome able to find Cheese's life. Deadeye able to take Chrome, but again, 66 is an absolute monster. 2 to force to the chest. Yeah, you know that's going to kill. Now you take a peek in there, and Polo gave some pain right back. 2 to force is currently dismantled for the time being. Give it a little bit of time as it's a 3v3 Team Fish Taco. Hoping to get some more in. Zeke says, yeah, we're not done yet. Let's go ahead and get that revive going. 4v3 as Purdue Northwest look to storm A site.
They storm on. Side is free. It's open. They get the kill on Rest. On backside, Soja gets to go away. Shock Dart is available. Just a single one. Snakebite as well. They're more than happy to go back. This is the lineup play that they've been waiting all half for. And they get to stall with the lockdown as well. But the spike is going to get halved.
Oh!
It's going to get defused before the Killjoy ult pops!
Oh, man. The Killjoy ultimate was there. That was a good call. However, the swing from 66 negated everything of that sort, right? You know the timing of the Killjoy lockdown. You know exactly how long it's going to take. That's fine. And you went for it. You knew you had it. The thing was, is could you defend yourself against 3 other members of Purdue? And TFT said, yes, we know we can do that. 66 took a disgusting swing, snapped up ahead, drew all attention to themselves, and they gathered in on it. This is now a 2-round game. If Purdue Northwest lose this round, they will be on series point, and TFT will be ecstatic. Because everyone knows if you win, if you're on 12 and you know this is happening, you know the opponent has to buy out. That is such a demoralizing thing to have to deal with. And right now, TFT are saying we want that scenario to happen for Purdue Northwest.
Oh, this is a struggle. Smoked off immediately. Just denied. Even the space. But they're not scared. They're not going to back away. They're not going to rotate immediately. And they've cut noise entirely. That's something that's scary. And what they're hoping for out of Purdue is that they'll rotate. Team Fish Taco wants Purdue to get off the A site. Wants them to think that a B rotation is happening. But no one really commits to the idea. They're not sold on it. Soja has the read. 66J falls. And look, TFT is going to burst out anyways. They're going to find the frag in return. And all of a sudden, it is a fiesta on A site.
Fiesta galore. Only one can come out the winner in this situation. And Purdue Northwest saying we had the better read on it overall. That's going to be a couple more catches. TFT down on 1. But Rest is going to make this a little bit difficult. Couple more shots. Only a couple bullets left. Has to swap around guns. Needs to reload. But 1 shot in the chamber.
30 seconds left.
I mean, you take it. Now you snap back. 25 seconds. This is doable. Snap on a couple heads. But Polo says many are stronger than the one. And you gather up around for yourselves. You stave off that potential death by pistol round. You're able to give yourselves a little bit more breathing room.
All right. We all know Viper's got her justification on Icebox. The early damage, the line of sight cuts, the molly, the ultimate. Okay. Polo's doing good. Deadeye is having mid control in the form of Kitchen or Boiler. We saw a Boiler in round 1 and Kitchen Turret round 2. And there's an opportunity between Brim and Sova to make some plays. Purdue should be a-okay for defense, at least for a couple rounds, especially if Deadeye is hitting shots like that.
And against the Chamber as well, against 66, who has had a run of kills in their own right? Like, that is a huge one to find. Right now, Rest around the corner, though, is going to get swung on. PNW, go ahead and clean up a few more. Down to 2, down to 1, as Sojo collects 2. Chrome, last one alive. You got to do something here. It's with the Marshall. It's with the single gun that you're able to steal 1 life back. But Vlad, make sure that there is no more collateral damage. Right now, that's 2 in the hands here in the second round at Purdue Northwest. Hoping this continues.
Thank you.
So if you're Team Fish Tacos, you got your money. You're not really stressing too much, right? You have rounds to bleed. You know that there's a lot of comfort to be had in an 8-round differential. But what they don't have the information is Vlad possessing an operator posted up on the angle of A, and it's an off angle for Belt as well. So as soon as that line of sight is spotted, they are going to get popped, but no TFT opts for the lower end entry onto A, and so that operator might not even find someone quick enough for a reposition out of Vlad.
I mean, right now it's play safe, play quietly. Doesn't want to give it away. Is now going to give information after taking Deadeye's life. Another swing on the side, but you drop down. Soja was ready for it. Well timed, well fought. 1 for 1. Now looking for a little bit more. Zeke going to go in, try and get the plant. Oh, you can. You messed yourself up. Oh, that feels so bad. The wall was so close to being perfect, but now being planted inside of that wall, it's... Oh, that hurts so much. With the plan going down, though, TFT ready and raring to go. Purdue Northwest going to try and do their best. Up on the swing, 66 able to survive. Real damage goes through. Vandal firing off a couple rounds, and Rest finds Polo's life. Karma able to find Cheese, puts it down to a 2v3. Rest able to find another one, down to a 3v1. And all you need is 1 more life. Soja, you're going to try your best. Rest says no. Headshots only here. 3K for the Viper, and match point for TFT.
TFT wrests the victory out of Soja's hands, and so that's going to be map point once again. We've seen it before. I'm getting the sense of deja vu. But look, the chance here is still pretty high for Purdue to flip things around. Vlad's got the ultimate. If they've got something to say about it with a Spectre or even a Stinger, then they might find some early frags and put themselves ahead in the numbers on defense. A little bit of aggression can go a long way, but it needs to be calculated. The same can be said for TFT, though. Fish Taco, they're already satcheling out onto B main. It's a full rotation coming out by Purdue. Everyone's getting in position. Will they make the same mistake? No one is lurking in mid from the attacking side. So Purdue is more than comfortable sending everyone to hold the plant.
And they're going to go. A little bit of Molly catches Zeke, and Zeke is down. That's going to be a trade 1 for 1. Chrome ready to go for another. The bang is good. Polo able to find Chrome's life. A little bit of a swing in. But that's going to be a chance. 66 says, give me that kill. Give me that chance. 3v2. Spike is down. Vlad's got to make a play happen here. A little bit of a peek. Shot goes wide, and Vlad finds the kill. Now down to a 2v2. Empress going to change it to a 2.5 v2. This is going to be huge, though. Poison, though, going to tick away at your life. Deadeye going to go for that defuse, and you're hoping to get a double swing, but Rest able to get the collateral and makes it a 1-game Team Fish Taco. Take Icebox in commanding and dominating fashion.
Take Icebox have taken Ascent. Taco team taking the victory. Orbital, they came with dominance. They came with a purpose, and the utility, the rehearsed plays, the executions, the mechanical skill, all of it came together in a beautiful bouquet of victory. And look, that's not to say that PNW just dropped the ball completely. There were some strong showings out of them as well. They had their individual times to shine. But look, Team Fish Taco, we're not here to play, and it looks like in the upcoming weeks we'll have a team to look out for. And I'm excited to see how much more we'll see out of them in this round robin. And honestly, I gotta say, I'm rooting for him. I'm rooting for him, Orbital.
I am too. However, there is a slight problem for me because I'm a Team Fish Taco guy. I love tacos. I like teams and I like fish. So Team Fish Taco, I mean, right up my alley, right there. Overall, though, I give huge props to this roster. Right, Purdue Northwest on paper is not a bad team, and I don't think anyone in this league is. You can sit there and say they're bad, they're terrible, or anything like that. It's just on the day, Team Fish Taco were cleaner on the rotations, on the aim, on the utility, as you were talking about. Overall, they were just better, and it's terrifying to think that they could elevate their gameplay even more in the coming weeks. So very curious to see how well they do, and then how they might even stack up against UBC. That's another question, right? Because if Team Fish Taco looked this good, you have to wonder what the reigning champion is going to be like as well later on in the weeks.
Oh, absolutely. That's a match that I'm excited to see. But Orbital, you're building so much tension for me for this league upcoming. There's so much more Valorant, guys, to watch, and you should definitely follow the channel at Unified Live to stay tuned and stick around, because week by week, the same time, you're going to go ahead and see these awesome Valorant matches play out. And remember, it's a 2K prize pot. These teams have money on the line, and they're more than excited to go ahead and find their fair share of it. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been Ashcon, joined by the wonderful Orbital, and we'll see you next week.